Um, is it a sin to not marry the person that God has willed for you to marry? Well, hey, I'd say it's a sin to smoke a cigarette when God told you not to and you do it anyway. Marriage is a big deal too, but any disobedience is disobedience. So I'd say, yeah, um, it's not unrecoverable. Um, Along the way to get to Cindy, there were a couple of sisters that God said, I'd like you to marry Doug. And they're like, oh, no, no, this is too hard. I don't want this. And I don't know how it would have been. Um, um, Somewhere in there, God says Cindy was the plan all along. Like he knew they'd say no, but he gave him a chance. Um, so, I don't think it's unrecoverable. But any disobedience is sin. If he tells you to do it, you should do it. If he tells you to stay and stick it out when it's hard and you don't, that's sin too. And the consequences of all of that. We had a couple that was here that fell in lust and came to me and said, "We want you to marry us." And I'm like, "Look, everybody here knows that this is not God's perfect will. Have you asked the Lord?" "Oh, yeah. Yeah. We know it's not his perfect will. He said it's permissive will, but we want to do it anyway." So let me pray about it. So I prayed that night. The Lord said, "Yeah, it's permissive will, and you can marry him if they accept the blood on their head for whatever the difference is between being with this guy and being with Mr. Perfect Will, and what that couple would accomplish. They collectively are going to have to accept the blood on their head of whatever could have got done if they waited for perfect will." So they come in the next day, and I said, and with trembling, because you don't know. You got to believe perfect will is way better. Like perfect will is 100,000 people saved in Africa, and permissive will is I don't know what. Uh, and I said, "Well, this is what the Lord said," and they're like, "Yeah, great, no problem." Whoo! That same night, they bugged out, like afraid for their lives. Somebody had threatened his life, and they just bugged out. I never married him. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. They bugged out, took off, got married. She got pregnant, which was supposed to be impossible. So that's a big blessing. Started a head shop. A few years later, he died of cancer. Uh, I don't know what would have happened if they had waited for perfect will. Um, anyway, but they sure didn't pray, hem me in, and force me down the chute you want me and no other. I would say to do whatever he's telling you as long as you know it's him and you've got confirmations, you're sure it's him.